of the New Patriotic Party, Freddy, Blay, and Aiding Como. Later on, which me Ashe or adumonline.com. Previous one-on-one now is available or adumonline.com. And I'm not hearing Bobo. If I find it. Of course, you know Freddy Blay, and come on, I feel crying. I shall say, December 7th came, and then December 9th came. Now, unim say MPP bidding kunim, but margin amunya eno. Did you really, in your heart, believe that you could go by that margin?
I was even surprised that it wasn't as big as I had thought.
Oh, sir.
Yes, I had thought.
Okay, Babu 50.
Kumasi, I was asked by the media, and when I was standing, Kumasi said, yes, I said, Kumasi, I believe that Ashanti region, you will win by over 80%, and averagely, I think we should go. I would be surprised if you get less than 60%.
National.
I did say so. It was in the news. That's what people even laughed at me. Some people made jokes.
Were you dreaming?
Just as you are asking me, I wasn't dreaming, but I had gone down, met various constituencies and so forth. Even in Upper West, I've asked them, looked at objective polls that they have done and research, gave me the impression that we were even in that region ahead.
Because Upper was not only one seat crowd.
Not one
of all
seat,
the 11 seats, then people knew back crowd.
Me share the executives, me share MPs, PCs, you know, now executives in the various constituencies, you know, not behind the yo now and the cacao. So let's be very frank with each other. What do you think this place is? I came out to say, look, you will win 80% for Ashanti and 60% for the whole nation. Indeed, I've been to Volta and so far. I said, Volta, we wouldn't win at that area. But I was surprised that we didn't even have seats down there. Jamaica seats, I was a little convinced that we should take it. Yes. Hohoi was some place where I thought if you put in a little effort, we could have also pulled it. We could, Kajibi, Akan. If you move up there and a few other areas.
You managed to win only Kratche East.
Kratche East. We should have got Kratche West. There were no differences and so forth and so on. If you look at the numbers now, even at that place, you know, we were not doing that badly. And the results were clear. And this is votes went down very badly. But instead of what they were expecting to over 120, 130 in Ketu South and so forth, it turned out to not more than 60,000.
And are you surprised by explanations free and this for example, say in the Volta region across the national poll, no, NDC4 didn't come out to vote. Until the results in the years and yet.
I don't agree to that. I don't agree to that at all. In fact, what the results were was what should have been normally. In Ketu South, the so-called 120,000 that they had expected and so forth. To me, I could describe it as a paper tiger. It's not frightening, it's only paper. It's if you
on the ground and
yes, sir. If you go to whole central, you know, and east and west, the way the numbers were, invariably even people thought that people from Ivory Coast or Togo came in their numbers and so forth. I thought no. We were not very vigilant, and in some cases at those days, some of our own members were compromised. Compromised not because they were our own members, but NDC managed to infiltrate and put their own people as our agents and so forth. Can you imagine? Even it happened in whole central in the area. Can you imagine that we had a police station where we have our own executives, and at the end of the day, it turned out that we had zero in the police station. In 2012, had plenty like that. In the 2016, only one place in the whole central area that turned out that way. So I think it's a vigilance this time round. And indeed, in the Volta region, we had quite a number of people who had a change of hearts. Young men were coming up. Young men no more considers MPP as a party for only accounts and so forth. That propaganda could not really take root. You know, people did not swallow that propaganda. Particularly young men. We had a rally in Ketu South, in Aflao, and you could see the turnout. And it's not the turnout that people were coming to that, they are only mere spectators. Were involved, the young men singing songs, they were inventing songs themselves, composing songs, and so forth. And their enthusiasm, they helped. They stopped the kind of stuffing that ordinarily NDC used to have in those days. This time round now, the game has changed. And it changed for 2016. I believe 2020 may even be something else. In that area, people are going to know that the party is going to develop this country across all. It's not going to be a discrimination. We will have it all for everybody else. So the young ones who are not having jobs now will see that there will be opportunities for them. If there are opportunities and the government is delivering, the idea, the propaganda of talking about people against us, them and us, will not.
And my final question on the election, so we can move on. What do you ascribe your win to? Is it a case of more manifesto promises? Is it a case of people were tired of the NDC? Is it a case of people just wanted a change? What do you ascribe your win to?
A combination of all those factors you've mentioned. A combination. One, people were tired of the NDC. Corruption was too bad in this country. Corruption, official corruption, and the way things were going, people were just getting fed up with it, and it was hurting the economy. In fact, to stress and inflation that this country was experiencing, whereby money was not available for people to borrow to do their, but 32% of an interest rate. Unless you sell cocaine, you won't make 50% or 100% on that. So on what basis do we have 32%? It was second. In Africa, it was the highest, or next to the highest in terms of inflation in the world. To Argentina, what was happening in Argentina and so forth. That's what was happening to our economy right now. In Africa, we were not doing very well. It was being mismanaged, and people were not getting jobs. The young men lacked jobs opportunities. People going to school need to even bribe and so forth. School fees payment was becoming a problem for most Ghanaians. And the market was hard. Look, in this our country where people have to pay rent, yes, rent were high. But even electricity was beginning to be higher than rent. Nowhere else that this thing happened. Look, Ghanaians really felt the pinch. Nurses, teachers, and so forth. If you go, and this we're going to schools and so forth, people were hooting at them. It's obvious that the writing was on the wall. They were losing. But above that all, Nana had moved from all corners to all corners, talking about what is observed, saying that we are going to do that. And fortunately, we put up a good manifesto, address the problems of this country, at least identify them. If you are not going to solve them within a year, at least they will make efforts to do this, make efforts to create this, make effort to do that. And this he was only talking about infrastructure. I believe we could see. Anything that they put a hospital here, they put a better money that came into their hand, far bigger than what we had from 2001 to 2008. They had more than 10 times what we had. And if you compare to, we didn't do badly. We're doing even more than that compared to the money we had. So there was a lot of waste, a lot of talk, a lot of propaganda. I think they swallowed their own propaganda when people were not believing them. It's unfortunate for them, but that's what happened.
They swallowed up their own propaganda.
Their own propaganda. They believed it. When people have stopped believing them, they thought by even sharing money here and there and doing that, it will win the day. It's happened maybe 2012. It's happened maybe 2012, and therefore they thought KKK, they will win with that kind of approach. So they had a lot of money, yes. But we were determined. We were hungry. Hunger was in our belly. We couldn't let down Ghanaians.
Were you hungry figuratively, or you were hungry in real term?
Figuratively. So what I mean is that there was more fight in us than in them. No, they were more complacent. They were more dealing with chiefs, giving them, or individuals who were ready to talk just to make money out of them. People were taking money from them in Asawase and using the money to buy T-shirts for
MPP.
It was obvious.
Is that
absolutely?
There be Jimmy here. I mean,
Binom quarry there. One they were propaganda, they were good.
Obeka Sama party,
campaign and
your mom sika.
And yet they brought the money because we were not having a lot of T-shirts. Billboards were not there, and so forth. Yes, I'm telling you, believe me.
I'm this kind of a trail. Sis canini.
T-shirt to have the promising. We were telling them the reality that this is what we want to do. Try it and let's see what we can do. And I did that. And Ghanaians agreed to whatever it is. And people were tired.
I see. So now you have power. And it's been a week and 2 days. And your 4-year mandate is still on the count.